Hey everyone, it's Mike with It's Pittsfield Tonight. I'm going to jump right into it. And this video is going to be a little bit different. And I do one of these every, a couple times a year. And basically what this is just one of these videos where I kind of put myself in check, explain to a few people what I'm doing based off of some messages I got. And yeah, so that's what this is. So every few months every message I get, everyone knows that has sent me a message. I do get back to everyone. Sometimes it takes a while, but I do respond to everyone. And some of the messages I get, not a lot, but over the past 6 months, I've probably gotten 10 to 15 messages that are basically saying, why is it, everything the mayor does you're against, or that this platform is just to go against Mayor Tyer. And I get why some people might think that. I do get why some people might think that. So I really did some thinking. I sat back and I said, is that what I'm doing here? And I thought about that for a few seconds and I went, no, of course not. Because I've thought about this a lot over time. And yes, there is a history, as many of you know, with Mayor Tyer and myself politically, as far as when she first ran for mayor as city clerk, I was a photographer for the incumbent mayor, her challenger, Mayor Bianchi. When she beat him and ran for re-election in 2019 against Melissa Mazzeo, I backed Melissa Mazzeo for mayor. So that's no secret. So I've never been a supporter of Mayor Tyer in that sense. But there is a history there, and it is personal. Did I ever want it to be personal? No, but it is. And this is what I mean by that. So again, like I said, I did on these other campaigns, I did volunteer for candidates that challenged her. The first campaign, much more than the second, is where I got to know everybody and found out what was going on and the players and the sides and which clique is against which clique, the whole deal. That's where I learned that whole process. But as far as Linda Tyer and me personally, I've been in a room with her. I've been within feet of her dozens and dozens and dozens of times. And she has never once spoke to me, ever. We've never spoke, ever. We've never been introduced, anything like that. And I've seen her, I've been that close to her in person to her as recently as about a week ago. So it is a strange relationship we have. She's not accessible, in my opinion, not to me. And last week, I ran into, the day I put the photo out of, many of you, I'm sure, saw this. I thought it was funny. It's a photo of myself playing guitar, the Sasquatch, the Bigfoot from the Jack Link's commercials, and Mayor Tyer, a photo of her I took during her first campaign for mayor, and it looks like she's singing. She's holding the microphone. It's a funny photo. It wasn't meant to be an insult. So within a couple hours after I posted that, I was up at Stop and Shop, and I ran into the mayor and her husband. And I walked by the mayor, and she just turned her head as normal with me. But I thought maybe she didn't recognize me. And then I walked by Barry, her husband, and I said, hey. I tapped him on the shoulder, and he said, hey. And we talked. And every time I see him, I try to talk to him. I send him messages once in a while. Barry and I are not friends at all, but we're cordial with each other. I've tried to have some kind of, for civility's sake, a relationship. So anyway, where I'm going with this is that conversation between him and I told him, check out the Facebook page. There's a photo on there. I hope you think it's funny. And that conversation ended with him telling me, hey, Mike, Mayor Tyer's never going to do an interview with you. Never. And he said, it's not because she doesn't like you or whatever. She don't even know who you are. It's because she doesn't consider you legitimate. And I smiled and I said, yeah, I know. And it was one of those moments where I didn't really think about it till I was driving home, and I was like, I started getting really mad because I thought, what kind of public servant, okay? For one, what legitimizes me? Do I need a degree? How many degrees does Mayor Tyer have? So that whole thing, you know what legitimizes me immediately? There's 6,700 followers on my page, and almost 5,000 of them live in Pittsfield and are voters. But whatever, I guess that doesn't legitimize it. What legitimizes her, I don't know either then. But I thought, wow, it's just, as a public servant, the biggest problem, and I had to think about this. What is my biggest problem with Linda Tyer as a public servant? And is it policy? Is it this or that? Yeah, there are some policy things. Yes. Are there some successes in the city? Yes. I think the parks are starting to look really good. Are there some good things happening? Absolutely. Has she been the worst mayor the city has ever seen? No, I don't think so. I don't think the circumstance in the country would allow that, just the time we're living in. So I thought, what is the biggest problem with her? I know she's non-accessible, non-transparent, and those things. And the biggest problem I have with her is since her administration, the spirit and the community spirit in Pittsfield has been broken. And that is the biggest problem I have. The gap between the public and government got so wide under this administration that it has crushed people. It has caused people to move away. I look at the situation in Ward 4 with the cell tower. None of that had to happen. All the mayor had to do was communicate. But she was too good for those people. She's never once even spoke to them. Not once. Who does that? And that's just one example. So her attitude towards me, when she was in the grocery store and she looked at me, I looked right at her, and I'm not kidding you. This is what she did. She went and turned and walked. And it was just like that. Look, because Linda and I have a very similar profile. So she looked just like that. But I don't understand a public servant that would do that. Why? Why? If you're a politician, I mean, your job as mayor, some people believe a mayor's position is a figurehead position. It's supposed to be welcoming and inviting. I can't tell you how many times I've sent messages, can we bury the hatchet? I'd do a video with you. I'd be the first to say I'm sorry. Whatever I got to say for the sake of the community. Because imagine if it's Pittsfield tonight and Mayor Tyer's administration had a good relationship. The value that could add to the community. And I'm telling all of you, I have tried, I can't tell you how many times, and have been insulted and put down. And to the people that think it's one-sided, it's not. I know for a lot of you, you just have heard my side of things, but the mayor has said things about me, from calling me fake news to publicly known troublemaker. I mean, really put me down, and some of those caused problems for me. Around the time of the fake news known troublemaker one, my car was vandalized. Someone buried a screwdriver through one of my tires. So it was real stuff. I don't get that. So at times, do I get that angry? I do, because she has made it very clear she's too good for me, or I'm not good enough for her. So, I mean, I'd put it out there right now. I would gladly sit down, do an interview, a Zoom with the mayor, an in-person interview, bury the hatchet. What can I do to help add value to the community? How can we work together? I mean, I'm never going to stop saying what I believe in, but I want to see Pittsfield succeed and grow. I'm concerned about the businesses on North Street right now being very upset. I'm concerned what's going on with Dottie's, and I've seen posts from them. I've seen posts from Steve Valenti. I'm concerned. These are important businesses to downtown, and they're being ignored. I don't, But anyway, I would bury the hatchet, whatever. I'll throw it out there again. I know she's not going to contact me, but please do. I'll be the first to apologize, whatever you want me to apologize for. And that's the problem I have. Mayor Tyer has wrecked the spirit, a community spirit, and nobody even wants to get involved in politics around here anymore. They fear retaliation. And if I'm exaggerating, let's take a scenario, and I'm not going to harp on this, but let's take the scenario Melissa Mazzeo and Mayor Tyer were running for each other. We were coming up, I think, right around the time of the primaries. Nah, it could have been after that. No, we weren't. We were after that. It was right before the general election. And Melissa Mazzeo had a standout at St. Luke's Square, the intersection there of East and Elm. And one of the guys who worked for the city, on his way home from work, stopped at the rally. And it was just a standout. And then he left. Well, he worked for the city, and he had his agreement with the city. He lives in North Adams. When the city hired him, he agreed on a certain amount of pay and use of a company vehicle to be able to communicate or transport back and forth from North Adams to Pittsfield. Commute. That's what I was trying to say. Well, anyway, the day after he was seen at the Melissa Mazzeo standout, he had his vehicle taken away from him as retaliation for that. It ended up going to court. He won. It took a long time in court, and this really happened. You can look at it. It was in the Eagle. It didn't get much press. And he won. But who does that? Who does like Vladimir Putin style politics to suppress somebody's rights because he had to fear his job, loss of his job as a city employee, loss of that vehicle. Now that, look what he was spending in gas, had to drive his own vehicle, whatever the scenario was, because he stopped at a Melissa Mazzeo standout. I remember it happening. I was at the standout, but this is all documented, that incident. He won in court. He won money back for what he had to lose, and he got his vehicle back. Who does that kind of stuff? And I'm not making that up. That's just one example. Why do you think nobody wants to get involved around here? Because they fear retaliation, people coming after them. So to the people who want to know why I'm so harsh on Mayor Tyer, that is why. I'm not trying to be a troublemaker. I know, like, the mayor's husband came out and, said I was nothing but a Dan Valenti. And I'm pretty sure, again, he said that just to insult Dan Valenti. But, anything they can to belittle and put down. And he did that to me publicly. But that's where I'm at. And that's where I'm at with the mayor. Yes, I get incredibly frustrated that she's not, there's no transparency. All I want to see, communication, transparency, that's step one. The next conversation I want to have is why Pittsfield needs a city manager. City manager, people. And I'm gonna go over a whole series with that, and I'm booking an interview if I can, unless our city hall makes some phone calls and stops it, with Ed Augustus, the city manager in Worcester. And since I've already started that communication link, I'll be able to know if somebody intervenes and tries to cut it off. And I hate to say that, but that could happen. It's happened with other things. Interviews I had scheduled that canceled on me, and I know why they did. So that is it for now. Mayor Tyer, I would love an interview with you. Let's bury that hatchet and let's heal Pittsfield. I'm right here. But I hope that answers that question to people. Why I'm so harsh on the mayor, that is why. That is why. And I think you would be too. It's frustrating when you can't communicate with someone, when they refuse to, when they literally tilt their head back and turn their nose up in the air towards you. Literally. I don't know how to counter that. So that's it. So that's it for now. I'm going to get out and enjoy the rest of the weather. Yeah, I'll see y'all tomorrow. It's been a busy week. Oh yeah, the bar tour. That's right. I'm finishing up some filming on that tomorrow and Saturday, and then the first series of videos starting with the Madison comes out on Monday. To the other bars that I was in touch with a week or two ago, you'll be hearing from me in the next few days. O'Loughlin's is one of them I need to get up with. There's a few of them on there that... But anyways, so yes, that kicks off Monday, but I will catch y'all sometime either, if not tomorrow, on Saturday.